Hey everyone, Caront here, welcoming you to Final Fantasy XV, episode Duscae. Let's go ahead and hit new game and get ourselves started. Now, I have beaten the demo and I've played a little bit beyond it, so I'm going to go ahead and erase the save that I'd had and save it with this one. So we get to the ever lovely loading screen. Prince Noctis is going to be the main character of this game, as we'll see shortly. He is the gentleman in the foreground. Prospero is the blonde guy who is to his right and in sort of the foreground. Then the gentleman to his right is Ignis, who I figure is kind of more of a mentor figure of sorts. And then we have Gladiolus to the far right looking off into the distance. He is, well, we'll see more about him in a minute. He is an interesting character as well. They really all are in their own ways. You might have noticed the music is really fantastic as this is loading up, and it really is that way throughout the demo. In essence, as you see on the screen, we are heading to Kalfest to confront Titan, but the car is broken down unfortunately, and apparently being Prince of the country does not automatically make you rich because we're broke as a joke and we need money to fix the car. So here we are stranded in the countryside, and in essence we are getting ready to head out. So cutscenes are about to open up, so I will shut up and let them do the talking. Longest ringing cell phone alarm ever, by the way.
If only somebody hadn't wrecked the car. God, unbelievable.
Oh, I would hate to be that guy. Oh, come on, don't be that way. You know I didn't mean to do it.
Of course not. Sabotage is far beyond you. It's futile.
Rise and shine, princess.
Tremors. Now you did it.
Just call me Titan.
Morning there, buddy.
Eyes open.
And he's up.
Not technically up.
Not technically having our automobile repaired and heading to Corthus, then?
No turning back now, Your Highness. Gotta pay his enormousness a visit.
Yeah. Wonder what it's like outside. Wow! Couldn't ask for better weather.
Ah, good day for walking. Aren't we lucky?
Now you'll notice as we walk outside, not only is the music really good, but the view is fantastic. I think they did a really good job with the graphics in this demo, as we'll see as we play through.
We're well short of the amount due, I'm afraid.
We need to think bigger, like behemoth big.
Hunting down its horns could get us the money, if it doesn't get us killed.
Wouldn't worry. We're as good as dead without the car anyway.
Might already be a lost cause.
Hey, if Cindy says she can fix it, that's good enough for me.
And since she's gone to all the trouble of servicing it nearby, we need only concern ourselves with one thing and one thing alone.
The money.
Simple enough. We hawk whatever we hunt till we come up with the cash, then fetch the car.
Alrighty, so we are now technically in control, and you notice the main story quest has begun, which are the ones in the gold there. And in essence, those of course are going to be your guide as we go through the demo, at least the main guides anyway. We have the second story quest updating now. You notice the location icon that just popped up. Those will be evident throughout the game. Those of course will help you to be able to get from point A to point B to point wherever. We look around with the right stick, and we move with the left as we go do-si-doing around here. Pretty typical controls really, not much to worry about. We will be able to run by pushing down the left stick, but we can't do that quite yet because the game will want us to learn one or two things more before we can really do that.
Noct, what do you say we check this out?
What?
Nice.
And the party in essence will go to anything that they feel is important. They will point it out to you. Of course, hold R1 to focus on it. And now that we can run, we can hold it down and run even faster. And circle jumps, if you wanted to play around a little bit. It'll point you to the sign, which is, well, the behemoth, Deadeye, who's going to be our target in the demo, with 25,000 gil to be rewarded for kicking his butt. So it's always nice.
Hold up a sec.
Now, Gladiolus wants to basically teach us to do combat. I'm going to skip that for now, actually, because I am using the PlayStation's native hardware, so it only allows me to record for 15 minutes. So I will show you some of the issues about combat, how to in essence go about this world as we go through. Now you notice it sets us to follow Deadeye's lair as the objective. Fortunately though, that can be changed pretty easy if you want to. You hit the options button to go into the map menu there, and you notice you've got a lot of locations on the map. You've also got a sunlight icon in the top right. That is basically telling us what time of day it is. If it's sunlight, then you can roam around. If it starts to getting toward the sunset icon, which we'll see in a little bit, then you want to think about heading toward camp. You see in the bottom left here, set the destination, and you've got a number of them that you can choose. You've got a couple of the quest destinations there. You've also got outposts where you can rest. You see one at the top and one at the bottom there if you find yourself in that neck of the woods. And you also see these campgrounds, and there are 4 of them in this area of Duscae, where you can camp out, eat food, rest. Basically, this is how you save your game in 15, be able to collect experience and things like that. So you'll want to keep all of those in mind as we go through. Let's go ahead and head out of this menu. You see you can go to the inventory, and it classifies it here, which I think is really nice. It helps you to really be able to keep track of everything that you have. The edibles will come into play when we camp, which we will be doing in a few minutes at least, after we get a battle or two under our noses, or under our domains, I suppose. You see the help menu there. That'll take you to some of the guides that we'll be going through, and then options. Well, we won't go through the guides, but you can if you'd like. The options basically just set the languages of the demo. If you want to return to your last rest point, you can hit this and it will go ahead and take you over there. We're not going to do that quite yet, but let's go ahead and set the destination there rather, so that we can basically have an orientation point, because the game actually does not allow you to do a whole lot in the first day, so to speak, of your playing. Now, you'll want to run around, of course, and we'll go after an enemy or two that we can fight here. I'm going to focus around that tower there for a reason that I'll draw up in just a minute. So let's head over here, see if we can find ourselves some enemies. And perhaps some stuff along the way, I guess.
What are we looking at?
This creature is known as a saber tusk. It skewers prey with its tusks, extracting game from the safety and comfort of burrows.
And these are some nasty little pieces of work. They are very fast and really hard to hit. Okay.
That's a bit heartless.
Okay, couple of other things that I'll point out.
Don't think we'll be befriending any.
Didn't mean to talk over them a little bit. Couple of other things I'll point out here. You can go into actually the tactical menu, the battle menu, by hitting the pad button. There you can look at your items that you can use in battle, as well as change your weapon setup. You see all the weapons there. And if you want to change your weapon setup, for instance, if you wanted to switch out the Zweihander, just hit X, and then you can go into anything here. You can basically switch that around. The Avenger will become your on-high weapon, and then you can use the Tempest sort of as your initial assault. In essence, or the Zweihander rather, in essence, set this as you wish. It's ultimately up to you how you want to conduct your fighting and your weaponry. But let's go ahead and attack some enemies, shall we? If you see enemies roaming around, hold down the R1 button once you get close enough to them, and it will focus on the enemy. Then you can hit X to do a warp strike. Now, the top right bar there, as the game mentions, is when the enemy has you in its sights, but let's go ahead and attack it. Hold down the square button to attack, and in essence, you can attack as long as you're not getting whacked around. Dodge with the L1 button. Hold on to it when you see the enemy about to attack you. You can hit X to keep warp striking to an enemy. Alright, so we've got one dead. Let's go after another one here. Alright. Now, I don't think there is friendly fire, but the characters will comment if you accidentally hit them. Alright, so not too bad. One other thing I will point out, you see on the bottom left there, that box that's right there, that is the technique menu. You can hit the D-pad to change whatever technique you want to use. I'm going to go ahead and, well, maybe not use full thrust because the battle's over. At the end of a battle, you see the time, damage sustained, parries, and in essence, you'll get an experience boost based on how well you do, in essence. Alright, so we've got our first battle under the books. Let's go ahead and roam around here a little bit. One other thing I will mention, you see that tower up there, and I can't target it out of battle, but you can actually warp to those towers and heal your hit points and magic much quicker than you can otherwise. Let's see. Alright, oh, one other thing. If you get into a battle and you need to recover quickly but you don't have a tower, you can hold L1 in areas that indicate that you can do it and recover much more quickly that way as well. Alright, I'm going to go ahead actually and head over this way because we're getting close to the time that I need to cut off the recording, and the PS4 is rather merciless about that sort of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and head over this way and make our way back to the campground where we started. Likely, in future episodes, I'll probably go on a little bit further. I may end up doing 2 screen recordings and then combining them into one episode, or something of that ilk. Alright, you see, you pick up a collectible by running up to the shinies and hit X. It will tell you accordingly. Alright, but let's go ahead and round up to another campsite here, and we can jump up to it. Of course, we are where we started. So you hit X to go to a rest point, or to queue a rest point. You can spar with Gladiolus if you like. It gives you experience if you do defeat him. So if that's your sort of thing, you can do that. But we're going to go ahead and rest.
It's bedtime.
Now you might have noticed on the screen, you actually do also have the food dish of the day that'll pop up. That's where those edibles come in. If you have good food, you'll be able to get status buffs from that that'll carry into the next day of fighting. You see fresh and immune that come up from this potluck stew. The game in essence will explain what all that means in a moment, so I won't go into too much detail. You also see the experience that you've accumulated during a day, and if you have enough, you'll be able to level up. Now, I'm not going to be able to right now because I only fought that one battle, but you see the status effects that'll come onto your characters, and then the experience itself will go ahead and make its way across there, although it's not going to do very much. But there you go. You have finished, in essence, your level up system for the day, and then once you come out of here, it will pop up those buffs, a slight increase in attack and such, negate status ailments, and it will give you the autosave for the day. So that will start out the beginning of a new day. You notice on the map, the sun is just coming up, so you'll have a lot more time to roam around and do stuff before you need to rest again. And I think that's where I'll close things off. Mentions of status boosts are determined by the meal that Ignis cooks, so I guess we're not doing any cooking. That is where I'll go ahead and close things off. So thank you guys for joining me for the initial episode of Final Fantasy 15, episode Duscae. Hope you guys join me for more, and I will see y'all later.